For part two of my videos about financial planning considerations for people that are getting ready to become parents, I wanted to talk about the unfortunately less fun side of this process, and that's considering what happens to your child and your finances if something happens to you and your partner. It's an important consideration that if you don't take the time to think through before the baby's here, you can run into some really unfortunate situations. So the big topic here is estate planning, right? Because that's what we're talking about here. How your assets and how the things that you've built can make sure that, how you can make sure that that stuff still is taken care of and given to your child as you'd like it to be. So there's kind of three big considerations under that estate planning umbrella. So the first is going to be getting a will or trust drawn up. Wills and trusts are similar documents in that they help state how your assets will flow after you pass or you and your spouse or partner pass. But they're not the exact same. So in a will, all you're doing is stating how you would like things to flow. Whereas a trust, what you're doing is you're putting an entity with a trustee, a person that you've chosen, in charge of the assets that you would like to pass and giving them specific rules on how those assets can move to your child. They're both beneficial, but I think that for a lot of parents or for most people becoming parents, at least getting a will of some kind drawn up to make sure that the right people are helping your children is super important. And that flows nicely kind of into part two, which is making sure you update your beneficiaries on any accounts that you have. So if you decide to set up a trust, then you'll just want to rename a lot of your non-qualified accounts or all of your non-qualified accounts into the name of the trust. However, if you're just drawing up a will, you still will have beneficiaries. And so beneficiaries are who gets your stuff when you die. That's kind of what's going to happen here. And so with a beneficiary update, you need to make sure that you're updating, if you're adding your children as beneficiaries, you need to make sure that you specify who you want to take care of that money for your children. Because if you don't, it can end up in probate court and it's a whole mess, and your kid may never get really any of the money that you want to pass to them because the state gets to be in charge of that. And then part three of this, so the third topic is talk about life insurance. This is really not a fun topic to think about because you want to be there for your child and you want you and your partner to be there for your child. But life insurance can be hugely important because when one of you passes, income will go away from the house. So suddenly one of the partners won't have as much income. That can cause huge financial strain. So life insurance at a minimum can help to replace some of the lost income in the household. It's also incredibly useful for making sure that if both you and your partner were to go at the same time and something were to happen, you can make sure that your child is taken care of very well. Now, the reason this is third is because it relates directly to step 1 and 2, or part 1 and 2 of this estate planning topic, right? Because if we have a trust, we need to make sure that the trust is directing how those life insurance proceeds flow. If you have a will, you need to make sure that your beneficiaries are updated and correct on the life insurance plan. And so, although these are not fun topics to talk about, I think they're really, really important. Another thing to consider too is an advance directive. So if something were to happen while the woman is in childbirth, the woman in the relationship who's giving birth is in birth and something goes wrong, this allows them to give specific instructions on what they want to happen before the scenario. So it's not up to anybody, it's up to a legal document. All really important considerations, none of them are fun at all, but something you need to think about as you're becoming parents.